Welcome to Vegas Live with Ninon. I'm Ninon, your host. And you know, these weeks just fly by. Well, you can actually see that I have a different background, and obviously I have a new guest because I have new guests all the time. This is James Presley. He's in the music business. But at the moment, let me introduce Pureza. Pureza restaurant is amazing. It's on the corner of Sahara and I think it's Tackz. I think I got my facts right. Absolutely beautiful hair. So I love the setting, and of course I love my guest. James, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking me to be here. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. And you're the first one to come on the show at Mariposa.
It's beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful hair?
I can't wait to bring my wife over here and have dinner and check it out. It's a really lovely
It's
place.
it is
It's
very,
nice.
very nice. So we look forward to that. In the meantime, how's the music business going?
Well, the music business is moving along through the pandemic.
Yes.
I'm pretty fortunate because I've been with some of the guys that have been working here for a long time, and I know a lot of the entertainment managers, and I'm sort of a commodity in the music business. I'm a keyboard player.
Oh, you
And
play
a-
the keyboard?
Yes, and a lot of the country acts that do well in town, they'll give me a call because I've been doing this since I was 13, and I'm pushing
And he's obviously
70.
not still 13.
Well, I'm 28 now.
28 and holding. Oh, you're as bad as I am. I'm 39 and holding.
But they give me a call because I know the songs that they're doing. I work with a few of the tribute
Yes,
shows
yeah.
because I toured for 20 years, and when those songs that they are doing came out, I learned them. So it's sort of like
course.
putting on an old pair of shoes. You just get going
You just
again.
roll along.
It's just there.
It's hair again. It's
Yeah.
funny how a majority of the old songs don't go out. They seem to arise. They rise again, and they might go a little low, and then they come back again.
The good
And
ones
the
stay.
good ones always stay.
They
and
do.
we're talking probably about, we talk about Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, and we talk about all the oldies and Keely Smith and all. It's really going back. Roger and Hammerstein as well. They never really lose their value, do they?
They don't. Now, I primarily work a different genre. I'm in the country genre, but it's the same
Same thing.
Same format. If you grow up and you love big band music, or if you love the crooners,
Yeah,
and
same.
you've maybe got your girlfriend or your boyfriend during those years, those songs stay with you.
They stay with
and
you, yeah.
there's millions of people
Dolly
that
Parton, that
hang
was just-
on to. It could be country, it can be pop, it could be big band, it's just whatever. That's the
Or
way
it could
the
be
business
singing
works.
with just a guitar.
Absolutely.
That's how they are these days, which
Oh,
is
yes.
amazing. I was never a big lover of country until actually coming to America, and then suddenly realizing, well, hey, this is part of America, if not the beginning of the Americans, because that's where it kind of sort of started the whole thing.
Yeah.
But so you're actually in Vegas.
I do live in Vegas. I spent my first 20 years of my life in Texas growing up, and
That's where
I
you got
went
the-
to college and for a couple of years, and I started touring. I told one of my professors, and I was a music major, I said, well, I'm getting a lot of calls to work, so I'm going to go to work a while, and I'm going to come back and finish up my degrees.
Did
He
you ever
says, "That's
finish
fine."
up?
I never did.
I
I
didn't
stayed.
think so.
My next 20 years of life was touring for various artists.
And you certainly were not going to turn
Yeah.
down a date. I mean,
And-
you
and
had,
exactly.
bookings.
And then eventually I said, okay, I've had enough. And in the early 90s, in the mid 90s, I decided to make Las Vegas my residence. And I'd met someone during the years I was touring. We got close, we got married, and I've
So
been
how
living
many children
here.
you have?
I don't have any of my own. I've got a couple of them that I raised. I do call them my own. They really are
They are
my
your
own, but
own
they're
now.
not biologically. But
No.
they're mine. I mean, I would do anything for them, and I do.
Oh, isn't that wonderful?
But it's because they were young whenever I started taking care of them. Now I've got my grandkids, so
Yeah, you
it's
have
a
that.
great
It
a
all
great
worked out
life.
very, very
It
well for you.
Yes.
Okay, back to music.
Yeah.
You produce a lot of music, right?
I do produce music.
When you go to produce music, what sort of hits you? What sort of, you hear all these different songs and you have all these different performers, will you do this, would you produce it, would you do that? When you hear a song, does a song really hit you, say, wow, I think this could be, this could be a hit?
It can, but they can sneak up on you.
What do you
I've
mean?
had many times where I've had managers in my earlier years come up to me and they go, well, what do you think about that song? And I go, it's okay. And it would turn out to be a #1 song.
So you have to eat your words.
You have to eat your words. I won't tell you a close call that I had.
Can you?
Yeah, back in 90, it was 94 or 95, I don't remember the exact year. But I was working with an artist, and we decided, we knew the person who was producing some of the East Texas bands.
Yeah.
That Marc Chestnut was one of them, another one was Tracy Bird. Well, they were getting hit records. Well, we wanted our band to get signed on because
Of
we were
course.
working out
You want a
of East
hit.
Texas. So I said, okay, let's go. We had 2 weeks off. We just got through performing at a place called the Neon Armadillo at Walt Disney World, Florida. So we came back to Beaumont area, and we recorded 4 original songs, right,
Uh-huh.
for the band. And then we were looking through, we needed 5 songs, didn't have time. So we were looking through some old tapes that the writer, the person who actually wrote
Yeah.
the song of the band. And a couple of us said, oh, that's a good song. We picked it out, we just stuck it on there. That
Which was-
song,
and
the
that song.
guy got a deal. We sent the tape off to that producer, and they didn't want the band, they wanted the writer. But these people are smart, so we had to go get other bands. But they hired this writer, and that song that we picked out of a box of tapes became a #1 song for Tim McGraw, and
Uh-huh.
spent
Can you
11
imagine
weeks
that?
in the top 10. So,
But
that-
you still had it. That was your
well, you
song.
still have, and you grow and you learn how the business works, and
Yes.
you never let anything fool you. But back to your question of, do you really hear a song that
Yeah,
grabs you?
that grabs you. That you
It
think,
does.
wow.
It does. But a
So
lot
how
of
do you recognize it?
you, well, through the years, you learn what a hook is, what it is that sticks with people.
Well, that's
When-
like the 9. The
It-
9 is the hook.
It is the hook. If you hear a song and you can't get it out of your mind, if it just, you wake up and you go, man, I wish
Man,
I could
this-
quit remembering that song, it's probably got a
Going to be a
good
hit.
chance.
It's got a good
Yeah.
chance.
And a lot of the things that I produce are really not produced for me.
No.
I've worked for hire, so I have producers or writers, let's say songwriters, at every level. I even have new songwriters that come in, and I have a platform for them, and I do their original songs and they catalog them. And then I have people that are at higher levels, and they come up. It could be film. There's a show called Heroes of Extinction that will be an animated feature, and it will be coming out in the next probably 2 or 3 months, and it's out of California. Okay, so when a producer or a management company comes to me and they go,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to do this, then it's my job to sit down and get inside of their brain. And I want to look at what they've got, read the script, and I'll go, what are you looking for?
I was going to say, you then find out what do they want, where do they want, how,
Yeah. And
So-
I do a half a dozen different
So
quick
you kind of
mock-ups.
mix it all.
It's-
You mix
it's
the
ru-
whole thing to
I
know.
try to figure out what they want.
Do they want
yeah.
it high or low or in the middle or
What they're looking for,
Are they
the
looking for a
melodies.
big band or a small band
Exactly.
or whatever you want or
And-
instruments they want? Now, being
Yes.
technical these days, because all technology now is all you press buttons and you go to all these computers
Yes.
and you got the drums will come up and the violins will come up and the ukulele or whatever you want.
Right.
So you can choose actually when you have this imagination in your brain as to what this is going to be. You can bring up any instrument you want.
You do. You think of it like you're building a house. And if you're a good contractor, you don't miss anything.
No.
If you miss something, it's not going to be there. So in my
Very
you know,
smart.
simple but true. So you don't want to mess something up. So I'm in my studio and I have thousands of different types of sounds. I have orchestras, individual. Well, I know how to orchestrate. I know where violins go. I know where the brass goes. I know where cellos go. So I call those individual. I do the arrangements,
Those
and I bring them
individual
in,
parts coming
and I call that a mock-up. And 9 times out of 10, most of the time, 95% of the time, they'll just use that. But
Really?
they could actually have me print it out, and that an orchestra could play it if they wanted to
If
do
they
that.
wanted
But
to do
most
that.
of the time they don't.
I was gonna say, do they sometimes come and say, well, I want more of this, or I would like this in, or I would like that in?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
that's
so
part
I
of
want
it.
more violins, or I want more. So
part of
the
it.
reason I'm asking these questions is
Yeah.
because when you hear a piece of music, you don't really understand where the beginning starts. Everything has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Everything does, and even
Absolutely.
songs. I mean, even your life. Life has
Absolutely,
that too.
yeah.
You know where your middle is, and you know going up there, but the other part coming down when you're getting older.
You're right. It's all there.
But it's
Yeah.
all there, and it's the same in anything, actually. It's the same as a house. You have a house, it's brand new, and then it's in the middle, and then it gets old, and it needs stuff doing to it.
Yeah.
It's like, that is what life is. So in the music business, it's exactly the same.
It is. Yeah. It's
How
the same
big
rules.
a band do you mostly work with instrumentally? I mean,
Well, most of the time I work with, people call it combos, I just call it bands. It's usually around 5 pieces. And the reason normally the venues that I'm working for people,
Yeah.
their budget supports an agent booking them and paying these guys for about up to 5 pieces.
oh, that's right,
Yeah.
you've got to pay them as well. So
Pretty
people
much.
they have budgets. So obviously the more money you make and the bigger you come, the bigger orchestra, the bigger budget you
Exactly.
have.
Supply and demand.
And I'm not going to say better music, because sometimes you can have just 2 people in playing and it can be a hit. So
It can.
it doesn't mean to say that the larger band you have, the more successful you'll be.
No, supply and demand.
Yeah.
If you have Carlos Santana and his band,
Yes,
he sold millions of records.
yes.
You're going to pay a lot of money to get him out. If you have somebody who's technically phenomenal and they don't know who he is, there's not as big of a demand.
No.
So that person may come in, they go, okay, we're going to pay you $5,000 for this show. Carlos Santana, they just an
Example, yes.
it might cost you $75,000 to $150,000 for a show
For a show with him.
because they're going to sell the tickets.
But that's right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's all on demand. Who's going to
Yeah.
come and
George
see them?
Strait is going to be in T-Mobile Arena in February, and probably the cheapest seat you're going to get is $150. Now, if I sell a theater, probably the cheapest seat you're going to get is going to be $8, and the most might be for a premium seat $30. So there's your big difference.
So there's your big difference as to who
Supply and
you...
demand.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so what's the biggest one you've done that you've achieved? Because I know you've
Oh,
achieved
honestly,
a lot. Well,
well,
of course, honestly.
As far as full time,
Yes.
back in the early 80s, I worked full time with a musical. During the duration, it was still a hit. It was called The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. And it was a hit
Nice.
musical. Now, as far as the combos here,
Yes.
a few years back, just recently, they closed Toby Keith's I Love This Bar and Grill. And our producer here, Maria's been out and visited and saw one of the bands I work with.
Oh, how
But
wonderful.
I was with the house band that originally played there.
Oh,
So
my
Toby
goodness.
Keith,
Talk about history.
Toby Keith, at that particular time I was playing there, had won Entertainer of the Year at the Academy of Country Music 3 or 4 years. I was there then, and he was there almost every week, and I worked with him.
Oh, you worked with
And
him.
he came up to us one day and he says, well, next Friday, you guys are going to do an hour with Sammy Hagar, who's Van Halen. So I played for Sammy Hagar. So that's but I'm just the keyboard player. Nobody's going to remember my name, but I get to remember
Yeah,
the
but you
things I
remember your
do.
name and you
I
know what
get
you
to-
did.
That's
And
where I
it is the
enjoy it.
it is the accomplishment of your life. You
That's
know.
all
Did
it
I go
is.
through my life and waste it? Did I
Yeah.
go through and do something?
Exactly. That's your satisfaction.
And that's your satisfaction of being able to do that. And
Yeah.
to turn around and say, well, I did do something. I didn't just, work a 9 to 5 or do nothing.
That's right.
At
And at this
all.
time in my life, I've chose to do some charity work also because I feel like I
Oh,
don't
isn't
have
that
to
nice?
push as much to try to work for a
Work
star.
yes,
I've done there. I've
yeah,
been
you've
there and done that.
You've
Now
been
I'm
there, done that.
enjoying
You
it.
accomplished all that.
Yeah. And I'm doing some things now for the love of doing it.
But
For,
that's interesting because now
Yeah.
you're doing things for the love of what you do, and now you want to try and give back. Do you want to give back to the music industry of the ones that sort of have struggled to get out there, or
well,
because a lot of them are very lazy and they think
Yeah.
everything's going to come to them, and they
Yeah.
don't put in.
and it doesn't come to them.
No,
Yeah,
no.
they blow it.
You got to work it.
You have to work. It's like anything else. Well, what I'm doing, giving back. Recently I still work with tribute artists,
Okay.
and it's almost the same format. You try to get in the person's mind, who's the artist, and go,
Yes.
what is it they want me to do?
Yeah.
So I started looking for something to produce that was different, and I've been doing some things with folks that are involved with Disney. They're voiceover characters,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
they're actors or actresses, and I'm not with Disney, but I do license some of my music with Disney. They know
Disney.
me in the publishing end over
Yes.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I met a lady that was born in 1929. Her name is Margaret Carey. She was on the Andy Griffith Show. She was in Spanky and Our Gang. Very famous lady. wonderful lady. And in 1953, she was the reference model. They drew and created the character Tinkerbell for Peter Pan.
Sure.
And she is Tinkerbell.
She's Tinkerbell, the
And
original Tinkerbell.
She is the original Tinkerbell, and she
is she
travels
still
around.
alive?
She is. Yeah, she and I
She
do
gotta
shows.
be,
She's
gotta
with
be
the charity.
pretty old, hasn't she?
We're working together. Yeah, she's 92.
There you go.
92.
92 years old.
We're adapting Peter Pan, and we
Well, I
have a
think
deal.
I've
I brought you a
yeah.
copy. Maria was there, and she filmed our very first premiere. Now, this is the ticket sales are being donated. The original premiere, some of the
Okay.
ticket sales helped pay for the production.
The production.
I've
yes.
learned it's trial and error. It's the first time I've done that. This time, I'm making sure it's all 100% paid for myself. All the ticket
But also
sales.
you've got to pay all the
it
people
going
that
to the
help
charity.
you, and then it's all going to the charity.
The ticket sales
The
this
ticket
time
sales.
100%. I'm going to have everything paid for ahead of time. It's
Yes.
about $5,000 to produce each show.
Each show. Okay.
And so anyway, I worked a deal. I wanted to do something with Peter Pan because I learned how these tribute artists would do things. I started studying the writer of Peter Pan. I started looking at him in the same manner as a writer, as people I work
Yes.
with. And I got really hooked on his story.
You
And
understood it more
yeah,
too.
so I researched the company that holds the copyright for
Yeah.
Peter Pan because I've been doing this stuff with Disney, and quickly I found out that Disney doesn't own the copyright. They have to acquire the
See,
rights.
some things you think.
Coincidentally, the lady who's Tinkerbell, Margaret Carey, in 1929 she was born. Something else happened in 1929. The writer, creator of Peter Pan, James M. Barrie, bequeathed the copyright of Peter Pan that same year to the Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital in London.
Oh.
They hold
Oh,
the copyright. So I called them. I said, I'm working with Margaret Carey to adapt these shows.
Sure.
And so how do you adapt a show? Well, it's fair use, but they own the copyright, so I
So,
can do what
yes.
I want. And what I did, you got to remember when this play was written, this musical was written, the writer was born in 1860. He
Well,
was
we're going back a little
yeah,
bit, aren't we?
yeah.
Because
Well,
we would, though, wouldn't
well,
we?
when he was 5 years old in 1865, there was the Battle of Little Bighorn. Well, he lived in Currymoor, Scotland. They could only see things through written news. There was no
Yeah,
TV
'cause
or anything,
there's no
of
TV
course.
and there's no phones at that
So
time.
they were not aware of
Carrier
things.
pigeon.
Racism, they weren't
We had none of
aware.
that.
None of that was there. So what I'm doing is I'm creating for the hospital a series of plays that the high schools and middle schools can perform. The kids, and what they do is when they come to the hospital who owns a copyright and they go, we would like to perform Peter Pan, they do a donation to the hospital, and I've donated all the publishing, all the rights to the songs, everything to the hospital. I'm giving it away. It's not mine. When I write
Isn't that
it's
nice?
given to them.
So you're giving it all
I've
to
earned
them.
my
You've
way
earned
here.
yours, yes.
In my later years, I want to do something for someone
So
else.
you want to give
So
back.
here's
So
you a copy
This is a copy
of the
Magical
very first
World.
premiere, and we call it Peter Pan's Magical World of Neverland.
Peter Pan's Magical World. Isn't this amazing?
And this was performed at the Performing Arts Center in Summerland. And
Oh,
our
how
characters
fabulous.
flew. The company that flew our characters on their harnesses is the company that first flew Peter Pan with Mary Martin and for years. And even most recently since sometime in the late 80s or somewhere around there when Kathy Rigby performed,
sure.
that was the company. So they can go, hey, Jim, here's the trick. Here's what you want to do here, there.
Yeah,
They know
yes.
all the tricks.
They know all that. Yeah, well, they know
Yeah.
they were there.
This is also for you. This is a CD. It's called The Pirate Songs. Now, I'm selling merchandise to help raise funds to pay for the next one. But the part of the fun with this, because
Yes.
I'm working with a company that holds the copyright, there's a pirate song that's being added. Let me see. I think I've got it in this one. It's called Captain Hook.
Okay,
It's
Captain
the third
Hook,
song,
yes.
and the words came direct out of the book Peter Pan, and it's never been put to
This
music.
is all like
this is the
history.
first time.
This is amazing. This
So
is
that's
a-
what I'm doing. That's what I'm
No,
doing.
I forgot the question.
You asked me what I'm doing for the charity.
I'm fine. No,
Yeah.
I'm just teasing.
It's
so
a
now,
lot of fun.
I was going to ask you what you have planned, but now I know what you have planned.
That's what I
You
had
have
planned, and I
planned-
continue
you
to
want to-
work for bands when people call me.
Yes.
I do their shows, and I do a lot in the studio, especially during the pandemic. I got songwriters in other states, and they sing their songs over the phone.
Oh.
I'll do a quick run through on the piano. I'll go, "Do you like this arrangement?"
Yeah.
They approve it. I do their full
You do the whole
arrangement,
thing, everything.
send it to them, and that's what I'm doing.
Is there anybody out there you would like to thank for what you've done and everything?
You know, I'd like to thank all the folks, especially the entertainment managers and the bands that have kept me busy for the past 20-something years. And thank you, Maria, for supporting Peter Pan, coming out and filming that, and asking me to be here. This is a lot of fun. Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely. And of course, Maria is my producer, and of course, that
Yeah.
social media shows, which she has, that's her company. She
Yeah.
now produces my show. She's been producing for a few months now. And things are happening. I'm telling you, she's a mover. She's a shaker and a mover. And between the two of us, because that's what I am too,
Yeah.
and that's what you are.
Yeah.
You're the same way. But I just love the idea that James is actually giving back and
Yeah.
helping, you know.
I enjoy it. For years, I did music
your
for
work,
work,
yes.
and I still do some work, but I'm technically retired now. So I'm not
Well,
under
I'm
the
not.
gun.
I'm not retired.
Well, I'm still working.
Good.
But,
yes.
you know, I'm
Technically
not under as
retired,
much
but not really retired.
Exactly. That's
There you
what
go.
it is.
Now, if
you know.
anybody wants you to sort of, you know, put something together for them, produce you, or something,
Yes.
how can they reach you?
Very easy. Just go to my website, www.jamespresleymusic.com. And
Simple. JamesPresleyMusic.com.
That or Facebook, but you know, if you go on there, you
You'll
can
find
see
them.
some of the things. Yeah, just shoot me a message, and I do a lot with songwriters, and I help them catalog their songs,
Well, that's
load them
great.
onto
Yeah, that's hard.
YouTube,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
once they're on YouTube, then they go to different publishers, and they're with different writing companies. So I'm kind of like the launch pad that gets them
So they
going.
can, when they come to James, they can find out exactly how the whole thing works.
Yeah, it's
Because
very
You've
simple.
done it many times. And
Oh,
well,
yeah.
it's simple to you, but not to them.
Well, I take care of the
But
songwriters.
you take
I do
yes.
a lot. Yes.
That's wonderful. Well, absolutely an incredible guest, James Presley. And he's still hanging in there and still doing his music,
Oh, yeah.
but a little bit more for charity and to help our other musicians out there to create their world of what the world he had, and being very successful. It's wonderful to give back. Thank you very much.
Thank
And don't forget to go to YouTube and subscribe and to become a member. And don't forget social media shows is our producer, and of course my famous Maria. Maria is amazing. Thank you so much. We'll
Thank
be
you
right
for-
back with our next guest. Take care. back again. Yes, Vegas Live with Ninon, and I'm Ninon, your host. I have Nicole with me, and she's takes care of people's skin. I understand. And the reason I say that is because I don't pre-interview. I've never met this woman. I don't know who anybody is, but so I have to use the brain. Find out what's going on and what's happening. Danny, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm absolutely marvelous. I have to say that her skin looks beautiful.
Thank you.
So whatever you're doing,
It works, right?
it definitely works.
works.
Beautiful skin.
Thank
Beautiful
you. Thank
skin.
you.
So you're in the skin arena.
Yes.
What exactly do you do?
So I am an esthetician. So
Okay.
of course I do facials and I do waxes and just anything to do as it relates to skin. So acne, anti-aging, dry.
Oh, I like the anti-aging
Yes.
bit. That's
exfoliation. So we kind of cater whatever your concerns are, whatever your goals are. We just make up a plan and cater it that way.
so when somebody comes to you, you actually sit down and find out exactly what they want, where they're going. A lot of them a little bit shy and sort of,
Yeah.
trying to explain what they want because
Yeah.
they don't know if it's right or not.
Right.
People get inhibited when they talk about themselves.
Themselves. And I think too, we're kind of new to skincare, right? I think we were taught like nails, hair, So sometimes it's a matter of just educating
Yes.
too on how important, it is.
So what is the most important part of your whole body to take care of as of sort of realizing, which is probably going to be about 12, 13 years old, you suddenly realize you have a body and you've got to kind of take care of it.
Right.
What's the most important part, should we start at a very young age, to take care of our body?
Yeah, I definitely think it's skin, right? So you think skin is an organ. And the purpose of the skin as an organ is to protect your body.
Correct. Yeah.
So I think not only just facials and waxing and exfoliation like that, but it's just that matter of self-care,
Yeah.
right?
Because that waxing, all that stuff doesn't come until later on in life.
Until later on. So we think later on is like 20, but now it's like 16.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
it's-
16. I think I was still in little knee-high socks or
Yeah.
something. I think.
So it's 16.
Actually, I left home when I was 16. And I had to learn a lot because
A
I
lot.
knew nothing what was going on out there in that
Yeah.
world. So 16, they suddenly realized that, oh, Mum, I want a facial, or Mum, I want a manicure. Now,
Yeah.
I've seen little kids have manicures, which I think is a little, be careful.
Yeah,
Now, only because, what the message it gives.
right.
So you have to be careful the message you're giving your child.
Your
Like
child,
putting
yeah.
makeup on a child too young or whatever you do, got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah.
Of the message you're giving to the people out there.
Out there. And I think with skincare too, in comparison to makeup, right? Healthy, good, glowing skin doesn't require it.
No.
You get to
No.
a point where you're like, okay, I just need a little lip, a little eye, especially if you've been into it since 16.
Absolutely.
So-
But it's funny, I'm much older, and when I sometimes I don't
You
really
look
don't
good.
want. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Is that my okay? I got the ups.
Look good.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
But sometimes I don't put a whole bunch of makeup
Yeah.
on, and sometimes I look at myself and I think, oh my goodness, I think I look better with less makeup sometimes than more makeup. But obviously on set I have to put makeup on. I don't know why I have to, but I do.
Yeah.
You don't. Now you don't have any makeup on.
No,
None at all.
no. I have a little lip gloss, but that's about it.
Look at this.
Yeah, just a little. Yeah.
Just a little. Oh,
That's-
So what made you go into protecting other people's skins?
Skin.
Because that's what you kind of do. You
Yeah.
kind of protect it and you
Protect
help
it.
them along their way of, the weather, the sun.
Yes. So I've always been into it. So I'll say a little bit of background, right? So I have a pre-law degree. Okay.
Oh, you're
So-
a lawyer, so no one can sue you.
Look. So before
And they can try that in
they
the
could
skin.
try.
Yeah, with
they
the
could
skin.
Try.
Yeah, they can try, but
Yeah,
they're not going
but
to get anywhere.
No, not
So
close.
you got all those legal forms.
Yes, yes.
Forms of correct.
Correct. Already set up systems in place, which, I'm genuine. So I have a legal background, and I just recently at the top of the year doing COVID. So I've always wanted to be in skin, but it wasn't as imperative,
No.
And I wasn't, my mom was always like, hey, go be an attorney, go be a lawyer, go be a doctor, go be a,
So you did what she said.
I did what she said, and at the top of COVID, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it.
So when she talks about COVID, it's just only 2 years. What is it? 2 years already with COVID?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
March, it'll be what, 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
Where's
quick.
that 2 years gone?
Yeah, quick.
I don't know where 2020 went, by the way.
It went quick.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It vanished. It kind of disappeared.
Yeah.
And then 2021, we're now in 22, so that vanished too. So, would you say 2 years was taken out of our life? Kind of.
I would say yes, and I think it's good, right? Because we got a chance to sit and be still.
That's a great way of looking
You
at
know,
it.
and you think when you can sit and be still, then you can think.
You know, and I hope a lot of people get this message of what you just said.
Mhm.
And the reason being is because we don't have that time
We don't
to do
have
that.
it.
We are not given that time.
We're
So,
not-
so we
mhm.
were just given that. So I hope you utilized it.
Yep.
And sitting and being still and saying, you know, looking in a mirror or just looking and saying, who am I?
Yeah.
Who am I and what am I?
And mhm.
You did that.
Yes. Who am I? What am I? And what makes me happy?
So you knew that being a lawyer, well, you still probably like law, but,
Yeah.
but you knew there was something else that you wanted to do.
It was always.
always.
It was always something.
Why? What is law a little bit
I think
negative?
it's not negative, but it is. It's little things like you can't talk about certain things. You know, going home.
Going around keeping your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Well, what woman wants?
Yeah, you can't talk about certain things.
Women don't particularly like doing that.
Yeah, not at all. But yeah, I think everyone is placed here to do something.
What they like.
What they like, what makes them happy.
Yes.
And I think giving back in turn,
Yeah.
right? So if I can clear your skin, or if I can make you feel a little bit more confident, or if I can save you time in wearing makeup, right? Or if I can make somebody says, wow, something's different about you. I've done my
Well,
job.
you can't say that because we just met.
We can, yeah, but you know.
Next time I see her,
Yeah.
I got no makeup on.
Something's different,
What happened
right?
to you?
Yeah, something's different.
You're not the same woman.
Yeah. So that's
So what do you specify, and what is it? Is the acne? Is it just looking glowing, or what do you really like to do? Because obviously, what did you study in law?
so I studied pre-law. So it was just I've worked in criminal, I've worked in family, I've kind of worked in multiple
of them.
arenas. Before this, I worked for the DOD, the DOJ. So it was more criminal
Yeah.
than anything.
Yeah,
Which that can be taxing and a little bit stressful.
absolutely.
So the thing with skin is it's relaxing.
Yes.
You know, regardless of if you have acne, if you have hyperpigmentation, it's relaxing. So I deal with a little bit
Yeah,
of
because you're
everything.
kind of massaging, and you're kind of, you know, you're kind of relieving somebody
Yeah.
else of whatever they're going through, and making them. Your achievement is making them look good, and there's no questions about
There's no
that.
question. I call it an exchange of energy.
And an exchange.
An exchange of energy.
You're coming with a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, you like it?
No, yeah, I
You
like it. Yeah, I like the stuff she's coming with. God, if
Yeah.
I ever need a lawyer, I'm going to get you on
I
my
mean,
side. I
yeah.
don't want you on the other side. You'll nail me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You probably would. So when you do the skin thing, what is the worst ones that you've come across? Is it the younger generation with acne and different things like that, or what is it?
I think it's actually middle age, right? Because we think
Okay, I'm going to ask you a question
Okay.
now, because I
Okay.
truly, 100%, I do not know what middle-aged is.
Middle-
Middle-aged has to be about 40, because if it's the middle, you're going to live to 80 or 85.
Okay.
So
what would be
but
what
they
would be,
say 50 is middle-aged.
so what would be 30 to 40?
30 to 40 would be getting old.
Okay.
Getting older.
Older.
Getting, not old, getting older.
Getting older.
It's kind of, you're kind of on that borderline of,
That what do I want to
yeah, I better
Yeah.
start taking
Yeah.
care of myself.
let me get on it. Yeah, let me get on it. So I think that is
Really?
not the most, because I say this, right? So when we think of acne or skin concern, right, we think of teenagers.
Teenagers, that's what I was
Right,
thinking
we
of.
think
Yes.
of teenagers.
Yes.
So you have a 30 or a 35-year-old woman that comes in and says, I have all these spots, or I have acne, and I have to put on makeup, and my husband's not attracted
Well,
to
at that
me.
age,
or
it's a little older, so what is it? Nervous condition, stressed out,
It could be multiple things. And that,
or
see,
just bad skin?
no, so no bad
Wow.
skin.
There's
We
no
don't say
such
that.
Oh. I got to
Yeah.
zip it. I'm zipping it
It
for
can
2
be,
seconds.
This is the one thing too that people think. They come in and they say, oh, I want skin like yours. Our skin is genetically different.
Well, every skin is. I've
Every
got
skin
English
is-
skin. It's
yeah,
different.
It's different.
It's thin. You have to be careful of it.
With it. So that's the cool thing about skin too, is what you need and what I need are totally
different
things,
things.
right? Your lifestyle, my lifestyle, your genetics, my genetics.
We're all born differently.
We're all born
But do you
differently.
know something? When we're born, not one of us are asked where to be born, what country or where, and we don't ask for what color skin we come out
Yeah.
with. So these two things we have to kind of deal with. We can either stay where we were born or we can travel. I traveled.
Yeah.
The color of your skin, no, you can't do anything about that.
can't do-
That's
Yeah.
that's your. So deal with it.
Deal with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Deal with it.
And get monthly facials so that way you could deal with it a little better.
So monthly facials.
I say monthly.
So you're talking about a 40-year-old, 50-year-old woman starts getting into Panicsville of saying, I haven't taken care of my skin up until now,
Up
so
until now, yeah.
now I better. And do you agree with that? Do you think that should, or should they start earlier?
No, they should start early. I say 16, right? This is what I tell.
16.
Yeah, this is what I tell
Really?
my clients, right? You don't have to deal with acne. You don't have to deal with aging. I'm not going to say my age, but you would be surprised. You would be
I'm
surprised.
not going to tell you my age
Yeah.
because everybody would be surprised. Don't want anyone out there know.
Yeah.
But they'll find out.
Yeah. I say we prevent over correct because preventing is cheaper than correcting.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with. You know, it's funny when you talk about being young. I remember when I started using creams at Ninon. I started at a very young age. I
Yeah.
don't know why, but what I always did, I always draw the skin, and I used to go up all the way up my, all the way up, and come down here. And I never knew, but it saved me an awful lot. I don't have as many wrinkles or things
In that area.
in that area that I probably should have, and I've never been pulled up there.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I should be pulled.
No, you look fine.
Coming from her. Ooh, coming from Daneille.
You look fine.
I look okay. So it's the habits you get into. So you're
Yeah.
saying at a young age. So when I say I did this, they should put cream on all over their face and up around their ears and under.
Well, we talk about a regimen, right? That's what we always
Regimen.
talk about. We
Okay.
talk about an at-home regimen, and like you said, it's that consistency. And this is sometimes when I get pushback, but you got to think diets require consistency, right? Everything else that you do requires consistency. So your skin requires
Requires.
consistency.
Yes.
At a simplistic level, cleanse, tone, moisturize. That's 2 minutes.
Cleanse, tone, moisturize.
Yep.
What do you mean wash your eyes? Because if you want
Just the
cleanse-
cream.
Just
like-
with the cream. you
Mhm,
don't
to
put
add
the-
that moisture back into
to
your
put
skin.
which is under your eyes and around your
Yeah,
face.
everywhere.
Everywhere.
Especially since we live in the desert too.
Oh yes, hair is really bad. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
You know. I'm laughing because the other night, this is really funny. The other, no, it was actually in the afternoon, I think. Went to put some cream on, and I grabbed this little tiny bottle. I thought, oh, I don't know what this is, because I can't see
Put it
as
on.
much as I. So I started putting it on. Then I thought, well, hang on a second, I better go and see what it was. You know what it was? It was for the hair. And I had to laugh to myself because it was really quite funny.
Yeah.
So I go quickly scrubbing all this stuff off my face, making my face 10 times worse than it was
Than
before.
what it was.
But so be careful what jar you grab.
That you pick up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you get older, you
Yeah.
grab it. But that
And
was
you're
fun.
just like, okay, y'all used to.
So,
Yeah.
what is the most common thing for a woman and a man? Because I think men are into this as well. Now, do you have many men clients?
I actually have a lot of male clients that just started picking up. Can I tell you a little secret too?
What? Lots of secrets. Go ahead.
Men are way more willing to take care of their skin than women,
Is that when they get older or all the way through?
all the way through.
All
Once
the way
they,
through. Are they
once
the-
they're educated.
Once they're educated.
Once they come to me and they're educated, they're like, okay, what do I do? Women, I always have to push them a little bit.
Really?
Yeah. Even if they have,
And yet
acne,
I would have
skin
thought it
dressing.
would have been the other way
Opposite.
around.
I
The
thought so
opposite.
too. I thought so too. But, and of course we have the testosterone, the hormone difference, of
Well,
course.
that's the difference.
That's
Men
the
and women
difference.
are totally different.
Right.
So don't know why women want to be men, and
And opposite. Yeah, that's a whole nother.
that's a whole nother story.
Conversation, yeah.
That's a whole nother. But I mean,
Yeah.
this woman's liberation thing. I don't know why women want to suddenly
Switch
go out
over.
there and work and
Yeah.
do all the stuff they want to do. I don't know. But
No.
we've got enough men out there that want to keep you.
Right.
I mean,
Take care of you.
and take care of
Yeah.
you. Yeah, absolutely. Why not? So as you were saying, so
Yeah.
what's the most important thing to do for your skin? Probably starting about 30 or 40 years old, since they've already passed the limit.
Yes. Yeah. I would say a routine. And the reason why estheticians are important, opposed to sales reps, like at Ulta or Sephora,
Yes.
is because we have that education.
Okay.
So opposed to just picking up any cleanser, right? I can inform you on a specific cleanser with specific ingredients.
Okay. What's a good cleanser right now to buy out there in a store without the surprise?
Without a surprise, I say go to an esthetician because you want
without
to get
without going to
Without
one.
going to
Yeah,
one?
the budget at the moment with a lot of women out there, so it'll,
Paula's Choice.
Yes.
Paula's Choice has a lot of good, a good line.
oh, they do.
So a good line of like cleansers, toners, moisturizers.
Choice.
Paula's Choice. The reason why I say go to an esthetician because you want to get something that is going to solve the problem.
Yeah, but I'm thinking that if they go there, they're going to pay for the appointment, and then probably what you have is probably more expensive than what you can buy in, say, a Walgreens or CVS. I mean,
Right.
a lot of women go into CVS,
The
Walgreens,
CVS.
and so
Right.
that I'm trying to figure out what would be the best thing for them to buy in there.
In there. And I'll say this, ladies, gentlemen, okay? It just doesn't give you the same effect.
Okay.
So
So
I
it's
say if you're going to
better.
commit.
So if you're going to commit, go to Danny.
Yep. If you're going to commit. And that
Go
doesn't
to
mean
Danny Nicole.
Nicole, Skin by Daneille Nicole. That doesn't mean you have to spend thousands of dollars.
No.
Not even close, right?
So I'm just saying that you might save more money by going to you than going and just buying it over the counter.
More
That's
money.
that's what I'm trying to get over. Is
Yep.
It's cost less, and then you'll have a beautiful skin.
Yeah. More effective, more efficient.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What's the worst case you ever had?
I think acne probably, cystic acne.
Cystic. Oh,
Cystic. So like
what's cystic? That sounds terrible.
yeah, so like pussy, nodules, and not
Usually young boys have that.
normally young boys, but I see a lot in women,
Really?
about 30 to 42.
30 years old to 42.
Mhm. Yep.
And that's a time when you wouldn't think they'd have
That
it.
you would have it, right? And that's why I say every skin is different, and it's lifestyle, it's genetics, it's
This
diet,
is a lot of what you eat. Diet,
a lot of what you eat. A lot of what you eat. Yeah.
So you've got to be careful what you eat and
Mm-hmm.
what you drink. I guess everything in moderation
In modern and product.
and product.
And that's why I say, so when you go to an esthetician, again, an esthetician should have done the research to
Yes.
ensure that it works.
How long did it take you, because you were a lawyer, how long did it take you to get the license to become an esthetician?
It was quick. So in Nevada, it's only 4 months.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. I think it was 600 hours every day.
600 hours
Not every day. Yeah. Not
600 hours in all.
in total. Right. We went every day. So of course you get through it,
You go quite
a
fast.
little
Yeah,
quick.
a little faster.
But even outside of that, so when I was taking additional training in school,
Oh, really?
and then I got out of school and put a couple of thousand into it from there too.
Yes.
So I didn't just stop there.
No. So you wanted to make sure you were fully equipped, knowledge-wise, as
Yeah.
to what you were doing. How can anybody reach you? What's your information?
You can reach me on Instagram at Skin by Daneille Nicole, or I also have a website. Of course, it's www.skinbydaneillenicole.com. Look forward to seeing you.
So you you have your own business.
Yes.
It's your own company.
Mhm.
Isn't that wonderful?
It's wonderful.
It's you're very independent now.
Yes. And we go back to the happiness aspect.
Yes.
I think when you're happy and your cup is full, you can pour into others.
I love how she
Yeah.
said that. That's great.
Yeah.
It's like drinking a cup of coffee. You're going to enjoy it.
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it
Mhm.
and help others.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I enjoy it. I love it.
You like it?
I love it.
Yeah, I can see you do. You're
You see?
happy, you enjoy it.
Yeah.
Her skin is beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. Absolutely amazing. And whenever you want to get your skin, do you do actually, they can come in and get a consultation from you?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Instead of going through the whole thing.
Hopping in. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
they can come in and get a consultation. And
Mhm.
then they can decide whether they would like a facial or whatever they've
We can
got
even
it
do it
from.
online.
So how can they do it online?
Yeah, we can even do it online. So if you want to I know this generation is Instagram, right? So you send me a DM, we set up a time, or you can also book on my website as well, an online consultation. It's about 25 minutes. We go over skin goals, concerns, what you're having issues with, and we devise a plan
Is there a
from there.
cost to that, or is it for free?
So the initial, if you pay for the facial, the consultation is free.
Oh, okay.
It's included. If you want just the consultation, then that is a charge.
There is a charge for the consultation.
Yep.
But, so don't forget, if you have a consultation, you might as well have a free
You
facial.
might as well have a
I
facial.
mean, come on, you might as well go and then do the whole thing, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
And my new client facials include starter kits. So you leave with a cleanser, a toner, and a moisturizer.
Oh my goodness, she's giving everything away.
Yeah.
but that's how you create your business. Is your business, is it multiplied?
Very. It's quick. It went
Okay.
so quick, you know, and I think that's because you make a difference.
Yes. Yeah, when you make a difference.
When you
And
make a
When you make a
difference.
difference, you help people. And actually what
Yeah.
you're selling and what you're doing is really working. Because a lot of these places, they don't work. When you ask a
Yeah.
question, they don't even know the answer.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much,
Thank you
Daneille.
so much for
Absolutely
having me.
amazing. We'll be right back with our next guest. Don't forget to go to YouTube and don't forget to become a member and all that wonderful stuff. And also, we're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You name it, we're there. Take care. We'll be right back.
Is that good?
Excellent.
Oh,
Those are
okay.
good. You were excellent.
Thanks.